The armed forces of Ukraine hit a command post of Russia's 2nd Guards Combined Arms Army in the temporarily occupied part of the Donetsk region. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine announced this on its Facebook page. Today, the Armed Forces of Ukraine has conducted a precision airstrike targeting the command post of Russia's 2nd Guards Combined Arms Army located in Novohrodivka, Donetsk region, the report says. According to the General Staff, this operation is a continuation of a series of strikes on the command posts of Russian forces in the Donetsk sector. The armed forces of Ukraine continue to demonstrate a high level of coordination and professionalism in identifying and neutralizing key command and control elements and the enemy's military infrastructure, the General Staff emphasized. On January 10th, the armed forces of Ukraine hit a command post of the 3rd Army Corps of Russia's armed forces in the temporarily occupied city of Svitlodarsk, Donetsk region. In the video of a strike on the command post, the explosion was so powerful that the floors of a 5-story building collapsed and clouds of dust rose hundreds of meters into the air. There is no information on casualties yet. Russian channels are completely silent about this. It is reported that these are Russian soldiers captured by the 155th Brigade on the Pokrovsk front, the very same brigade that trained in France and experienced issues during deployment. Russia's new 1st Bukhanka Assault Brigade. The rise in the use of improvised armor and non-armored vehicles by Russian forces in Ukraine can be attributed to several interrelated factors, reflecting logistical, operational, and tactical challenges faced by the Russian military. The high intensity of the conflict has led to significant Russian equipment losses, including tanks, armored personnel carriers, and infantry fighting vehicles. Replacing these losses has strained production capacities. Western sanctions and logistical issues have severely impacted Russia's ability to produce modern armored vehicles at scale. Improvised solutions like attaching metal plates, concrete slabs, or welded cages, cope cages, are much cheaper than producing new armored vehicles. Russian mill blogger Vault 8 says that Ukrainians are effectively leveraging drones, artillery, and advanced tactics to neutralize Russian armored vehicles, forcing Russian tanks to operate only from covered positions while enabling their own tanks to engage more freely, even with direct fire. Meanwhile, Russian capabilities, particularly in drones and artillery, are hindered by shortages and inefficiencies, limiting the ability to counter these advancements effectively. On the enemy's use of tanks, I want to share an observation that seems obvious, but sometimes obvious things need to be said. The enemy has achieved sufficient scale and variety in its drones, and has honed its tactics for their use. As a result, in tactical areas where the enemy has at least 2 companies of strike drones and 2 companies of reconnaissance UAVs, in addition to copters used by their units, they completely shut down the possibility of our armored vehicles and tanks operating. Tanks and BMPs or APCs simply don't reach the line for launching an attack. They are neutralized 3 to 6 kilometers from the front line, deep within our positions. Additionally, the enemy's artillery targets our tanks when they have sufficient shells. If they had more ammunition, their artillery would strike even more frequently, and given the high precision of Ukrainian artillery, this would be as significant a factor as FPV drones. At the front line, our tanks are targeted by ATGMs. Although the Ukrainians have fewer ATGMs compared to 2022, they still have enough. As a result, our tanks can only operate from covered positions. Direct fire and infantry support are unavailable to them. Now, let's look at our capabilities. Our drone operations are much weaker. Advanced FPV models with non-standard frequencies and fiber optic connections are supplied only to priority sectors due to shortages. The standard models supplied by the Ministry of Defense are flawed, although there has been progress in frequency switching. As a result, impressive footage of enemy equipment destruction deep within their lines mainly comes from the Kursk region or a few specialized units. For secondary sectors like ours, operations against enemy equipment in their rear are limited due to challenges with countering enemy electronic warfare. Artillery. It faces a shortage of shells, available guns, and guided munitions. This means that dislodging enemy tanks from covered positions is difficult, and there are insufficient shells to target tanks engaging in direct fire, as this falls under the responsibility of regimental artillery. The only area where we are relatively adequate is with ATGMs. Thanks to their abundance, the enemy cannot freely launch attacks with armored groups. However, unlike the Ukrainian Armed Forces and National Guard, these attacks are disrupted right at the front line rather than deep within their formations. Additionally, we still have attack helicopters, though they are few and mainly used to suppress enemy breakthrough attempts. They perform effectively, but, again, only at the front line. As a result, due to shortcomings in artillery, and especially drones, the enemy can use their tanks not only from covered positions, but also for short direct-fire engagements on secondary sectors like ours. This underscores how warfare evolves over time and across specific sectors. In 2022, Ukrainian forces rarely used direct fire with tanks because they struggled in tank-on-tank battles. Our artillery still had sufficient ammunition, and in spring there were gaps in the front lines that allowed our helicopters to exploit. Now, in sectors where the enemy has managed to neutralize our drones and where regimental artillery lacks ammunition, they are once again able to use tanks more freely. The enemy continues to demonstrate high adaptability, even as the third year of the special military operation comes to an end. While they may lack the infantry to hold large areas in the Donetsk People's Republic, in terms of advanced combat branches, they remain a formidable opponent. The oil depot near Engels Air Base is burning for a fifth consecutive day. Firemen are still unable to contain the fire. Local authorities claim that it has been extinguished by 80%, and the amount of smoke has also decreased. But local residents say otherwise. The smog is still thick in the city, and it is difficult to breathe. Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance from the 45th Brigade detected a Russian Buk air defense system, and HIMARS delivered a precise strike on the target. The Buk air defense system is a family of medium-range surface-to-air missile systems developed by the Soviet Union and later by Russia. The system is designed to counter a variety of aerial threats, including aircraft, cruise missiles, and tactical ballistic missiles.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.